The black SUV screeched to a halt outside the small bakery in Itiwan, and Amara's hands froze over the cash register. Through the window, she watched three men in dark suits step out, but it was the fourth man that made her heart stop. Min Jun. The man who had abandoned her 4 years ago. The man who had broken her heart and left her pregnant and alone in a foreign country. And now he was here, standing outside her bakery, looking more commanding and dangerous than ever. But what Min Jun didn't know, what would shatter his carefully controlled world in the next 60 seconds, was that he had a daughter. A 3-year-old little girl with his eyes, currently coloring in the back room, completely unaware that her father had just walked back into their lives. Before we dive into this emotional roller coaster, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our incredible Afro-Korean love stories. Drop a like if you're ready for some serious drama, and comment below, Team Second Chance or Team Move On. Now, let's get into this story because what happens next will change everything. We're not open yet, Amara said, her voice barely steady, not looking up from the register she was pretending to count. Amara. That voice. Deep, controlled, with just a hint of the warmth she remembered from a lifetime ago. She forced herself to meet his eyes, those dark eyes that had once looked at her like she was his entire world. You need to leave, she said. Min Jun stepped closer, his men flanking the door. He looked different, harder somehow. The past 4 years had carved shadows under his eyes, but his presence still filled any room he entered. We need to talk. We needed to talk 4 years ago. You made your choice. Before he could respond, a small voice called from the back room. Mommy, can I have the purple crayon? Amara's blood turned to ice. Min Jun's eyes widened, his composure cracking for the first time. You have a child. The back door swung open, and 3-year-old Mina toddled out, her dark curls bouncing, clutching a drawing. She had Amara's warm brown skin and full lips, but those eyes, those unmistakable dark Korean eyes, were all Min Jun. The paper Min Jun was holding slipped from his fingers. Oh my God, he whispered. Amara scooped Mina up quickly. Go back to the room, baby. Mommy's working. But I want to show you my drawing. Mina protested. In a minute, sweetheart. Please. As Mina reluctantly retreated, Min Jun's face had gone pale. How old is she? Don't. How old, Amara? 3.5. You do the math. Min Jun staggered back a step, and one of his men moved to steady him, but he waved him off. Why didn't you tell me? Amara laughed, a bitter sound that held no humor. Tell you. I tried, Min Jun. I called you 37 times. I went to your office building. Your mother had security throw me out onto the street. Literally. I was 2 months pregnant, and they threw me out like garbage. I didn't know. You didn't want to know. There's a difference. Min Jun's jaw clenched. My mother told me you took money and left. She said you wanted nothing to do with me, that you'd moved back to America. And you believed her. Just like that. After everything we shared, you just believed I would disappear for money. The silence stretched between them, heavy with 4 years of pain and betrayal. Finally, Min Jun spoke, his voice rough. My father had just been killed. The organization was in chaos. I had people trying to assassinate me every other day. My mother said she'd handled it, that you were safe and wanted to move on. I was trying to survive and take control of the family business. I trusted her. Your trust destroyed me, Amara said, tears burning her eyes. I was alone in a foreign country, pregnant, with no money, no family. I had to build everything from nothing. Let me fix this. Let me be there for her. For both of you. Now you want to play father. Now, when she's already 3 years old. When you missed her first steps, her first words, every single milestone. Before Min Jun could answer, his phone buzzed. He glanced at it, and his expression darkened. I have to go. But this isn't over, Amara. That's my daughter, and I'm not walking away again. You don't get to decide that anymore. Min Jun turned at the door, his eyes meeting hers with an intensity that made her breath catch. I will be back. And Amara? I never stopped loving you. Not for a single day. Then he was gone, leaving Amara trembling and Mina peeking around the corner with curious eyes. The next morning, Amara's phone rang from an unknown number. Against her better judgment, she answered. Ms. Johnson, this is Secretary Park from Hanseong Group. Mr. Kong Min Jun would like to arrange a meeting to discuss his daughter. Tell Mr. Kong that any meeting needs to go through a lawyer. Ms. Johnson, Mr. Kong is prepared to offer substantial support for the child. My daughter has a name. It's Mina. And she doesn't need his money. Amara hung up, her hands shaking. She'd worked 3 jobs those first 2 years, learning Korean at night, building her bakery from a street cart to this small shop. She'd done it all alone, and she'd be damned if Min Jun thought he could just buy his way into their lives now. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. That afternoon, a sleek black Mercedes pulled up outside the bakery. This time, it wasn't Min Jun who emerged, but an elegant older woman in a designer hanbok. Amara recognized her immediately. Mrs. Kong. Min Jun's mother. The woman who had ruined her life. The bakery suddenly felt too small as Mrs. Kong entered, her face a mask of controlled disdain. So the rumors are true, Mrs. Kong said, her English perfect and cold. You really did trap my son with a bastard child. Amara's hands clenched into fists. Get out of my shop. This shop. Mrs. Kong looked around with barely concealed contempt. This is what you've accomplished. How pitiful. I offered you 5 million won to disappear 4 years ago. You should have taken it. You offered me blood money to abandon the man I loved. I threw it back in your face, and then you had me thrown out like trash. Mrs. Kong smiled, a sharp, cruel expression. And yet, here you are. Still trash, just in a slightly nicer location. I said get out. Not until you understand something clearly, Mrs. Kong stepped closer, her voice dropping to a venomous whisper. That child, if she really is Min Jun's, will never be accepted by this family. She's mixed, illegitimate, and the daughter of a nobody. You're deluding yourself if you think Min Jun will choose you over his responsibilities. Min Jun is a grown man. He makes his own choices. Mrs. Kong laughed. Is that what you think? My son is the head of one of the most powerful families in Seoul. Every decision he makes affects hundreds of people, billions of won, international connections. He doesn't have the luxury of playing house with his foreign mistake. We're not a mistake. And you need to leave. Now. I'm leaving. But hear this, Amara Johnson. I got rid of you once, and I'll do it again. Stay away from my son, or you'll discover exactly how powerless you really are in this country. Mrs. Kong swept out, leaving Amara shaking with rage and fear. She pulled out her phone and called her best friend, Ji Young, the only person who'd stood by her through everything. She came here, Ji. To my bakery. She threatened me. That witch, Ji Young spat. What did you say? I told her to leave. But Ji, what if she's right? What if Min Jun can't actually be with us, even if he wants to? Don't let that woman get in your head. You're a fighter, Amara. You've survived everything she's thrown at you. But what about Mina? She deserves to know her father, doesn't she? Ji Young sighed. That's not a question I can answer. But whatever you decide, I'm with you. If you're finding this story as intense as we are, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling us what you think Amara should do. Should she give Min Jun a chance, or protect her daughter from the Kong family? Let us know below, and don't forget to like this video. That evening, Amara was closing up the bakery when Min Jun appeared again, this time alone. Your mother came to see me today, Amara said without preamble. Min Jun's expression darkened. What did she say? The same thing she said 4 years ago. That I'm not good enough, that Mina will never be accepted, that you'll never choose us. She's wrong. Is she? Amara challenged. Because 4 years ago, she convinced you I'd left you for money. How do I know you won't believe her again when things get difficult? Minjun ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident in every line of his body. I was a different person then. I was drowning, Amara. My father had just been murdered by a rival family. I had uncles trying to stage coups, prosecutors investigating us, enemies on every side. My mother was the only person I thought I could trust. And now? Now I know she's been lying to me for 4 years. Now I know I have a daughter I've never held. Now I know the only woman I've ever loved thinks I abandoned her. His voice broke slightly. Let me make this right. How? How do you make this right, Minjun? You can't get those years back. You can't erase what happened. I know. But I can be here now. I can be the father Mina deserves. I can protect both of you. We don't need your protection. I've kept us safe just fine on my own. Have you? Minjun pulled out his phone and showed her a series of photos. Amara's breath caught. They were surveillance photos of Mina at her preschool, at the park, walking with Amara to the bakery. What is this? My mother has had you under surveillance since I found you yesterday. She's looking for ammunition, Amara. Ways to prove you're an unfit mother, ways to take Mina away from you and push you out of Korea entirely. Terror gripped Amara's heart. She can't do that. She can try. She has resources, connections, lawyers who've never lost a case. And Korean courts favor Korean nationals in custody disputes. Custody? Minjun, you can't be serious. You just found out about her yesterday. I'm not threatening you, Minjun said quickly. I would never try to take her from you. But my mother will, and she'll use me to do it. The only way to protect Mina is for us to present a united front. United front? What does that mean? Minjun took a deep breath. Marry me. Amara stared at him, certain she'd misheard. What? Marry me. If we're married, my mother has no grounds to challenge your custody. Mina becomes a legitimate heir to the Kong family. You have legal protections. You're insane. I'm not marrying you for legal protection. Then marry me because I never stopped loving you. Because every day for 4 years, I've regretted listening to my mother. Because when I saw our daughter yesterday, I felt something I haven't felt since my father died, hope. Amara's eyes filled with tears. You broke my heart, Minjun. I know. And I'll spend the rest of my life trying to earn your forgiveness. But right now, I'm asking you to think about Mina. My mother won't stop. She'll make your life hell, and she'll use every weapon she has to separate you from our daughter. I need to think. You have 24 hours. After that, my mother will file an injunction claiming you're an unfit parent and that as Mina's biological father, should have custody rights. You're threatening me now. I'm warning you, Minjun said. The papers are already drawn up. My mother had her lawyers prepare them. I stole them from her office this afternoon. She's planning to serve you tomorrow night. He handed Amara a folder. Inside were legal documents, all in Korean, but she could make out enough to see he was telling the truth. Oh God, she whispered. Marry me, Amara. Let me protect you both. That's all I'm asking. After Minjun left, Amara called Ji-young in a panic. He proposed. The man who abandoned you proposed. It's not romantic, Ji. It's strategic. His mother is going to try to take Mina. Can she really do that? I don't know. I'm a foreign national on a business visa. Minjun is a powerful Korean citizen. If they want to make my life difficult, they can. So what are you going to do? Amara looked at the legal documents spread across her kitchen table, then at the photo of Mina sleeping peacefully in her bed. I'm going to protect my daughter. Whatever it takes. The next morning, Amara called the number Min Jun had left. "I'll do it," she said when he answered. "But I have conditions." "Anything. This is a marriage on paper only. Separate bedrooms, no expectations of romance or reconciliation. This is purely to protect Mina." There was a pause. "If that's what you need. And I want legal guarantees. If this doesn't work out, I get full custody, and you don't fight me." "Agreed." "And Min Jun? Your mother stays away from me and Mina. Completely. Or the deal is off. I'll handle my mother. You said that 4 years ago." His voice turned hard, all business. "4 years ago, I was a boy trying to fill my father's shoes. Now I am the head of this family. My mother will do as I say, or she'll find herself cut off from the organization entirely." 3 days later, Amara stood in a private room at the Seoul family court, wearing a simple white dress Ji-young had helped her pick out. Min Jun wore a dark suit, looking every inch the powerful businessman he was. There were no guests, no celebration, just a judge, a translator, and the scratch of pen on paper. "I now pronounce you married under the laws of the Republic of Korea," the judge said in Korean, which the translator repeated in English. Min Jun reached for Amara's hand, and she let him take it, his warm fingers wrapping around hers. For just a moment, she remembered how it felt 4 years ago, when they dreamed of a future together. "Thank you," he whispered. "I know this isn't what you wanted. Let's just focus on keeping Mina safe." As they left the courthouse, photographers appeared from nowhere, cameras flashing. Amara instinctively tried to shield her face, but Min Jun pulled her close, his arm around her waist. "What's happening?" she asked. "My mother," Min Jun said grimly. "She tipped off the press. She's trying to create a scandal." "Kang Min Jun. Is it true you secretly married your foreign girlfriend?" one reporter shouted. "Mr. Kang. Does your mother approve of this marriage? Is the child really yours?" Min Jun's security team pushed through the crowd, ushering them into the waiting car. Once inside, Amara turned on him. "You said you'd handle your mother. I am handling her. This is her last desperate play. By tomorrow, every newspaper in Seoul will know we're married and that I have a daughter. She can't disappear you now, Amara. You're public. You're protected. Or I'm a target." Min Jun's jaw clenched. "I won't let anyone hurt you. Either of you." The car pulled up to a high-rise building in Gangnam. "What is this?" "Our new home. I've had it prepared for us. Min Jun, I have an apartment. I have a life. You have a one-bedroom apartment above a noodle shop in Itaewon. That was fine when you were invisible, but now you're the wife of Kang Min Jun. My enemies will use any weakness against me, and you and Mina are the biggest weakness I've ever had. We're not weak. That's not what I meant." He turned to face her fully. "Amara, there are people who would hurt you to get to me. People who've killed for less. I need you somewhere secure, somewhere I can protect you. I can't just uproot Mina's entire life. Her preschool has a branch here in Gangnam. I've already arranged her transfer. Your bakery can be managed by your assistant for now, or I can help you open a new location. Whatever you need. You've thought of everything, haven't you?" "I've thought of nothing but you and Mina since I walked into that bakery 3 days ago." The penthouse was stunning, all floor-to-ceiling windows and modern design. But what caught Amara's attention was the third bedroom, which had been transformed into a perfect little girl's room, complete with a princess bed, toys, and books. "When did you do this?" "I had designers working around the clock. I wanted Mina to feel comfortable here." Despite herself, Amara felt tears prick her eyes. "She'll love it. Can I meet her properly? Not just a glimpse. I want to talk to her, if you'll let me." Amara took a deep breath. "Okay. But Min Jun, you have to understand. To her, you're a stranger. We have to go slow. I'll follow your lead." That evening, Ji-young brought Mina to the penthouse. The little girl's eyes went wide as she took in the huge space and the city lights twinkling below. "Mommy, is this a castle?" "No, baby. This is our new home. We live here now. Like princesses." Amara laughed despite the tears threatening to fall. "Something like that." Minjun emerged from the kitchen, and Mina hid behind Amara's legs. "Mina, this is Minjun. He's a friend of Mommy's." Minjun knelt down to Mina's level, his expression soft in a way Amara had never seen. "Hello, Mina. Your mother has told me wonderful things about you." Mina peeked out from behind Amara. "Do you live in the castle too?" "I do. And I heard you like to draw. I got you some special markers for your room, if you'd like to see them." Mina's curiosity overcame her shyness. "Real markers? Not baby ones? Real ones? 10 different colors." Mina looked up at Amara for permission, and she nodded. The little girl carefully approached Minjun, who showed her to her new room. Watching him interact with their daughter, pointing out the different toys and explaining how the starlight projector worked, Amara felt something crack in her chest. This was what it could have been like. This was what they'd stolen from all of them. Later, after Mina had fallen asleep in her new princess bed, Amara found Minjun standing by the windows, staring out at the city. "She's incredible," he said without turning. "She has your smile. And your eyes. Everyone says so. I missed so much." "Yes, you did." He turned to face her, and in the dim light, she could see the pain etched in his features. "I know I have no right to ask, but will you tell me? About her birth, her first words, all of it. I want to know everything." Amara should have said no. Should have kept that wall up between them. But seeing him with Mina, seeing the genuine regret in his eyes, she found herself nodding. They sat on the couch, maintaining careful distance, and Amara told him everything. About the difficult pregnancy, alone in a foreign country. About the 20-hour labor with only Ji-young by her side. About Mina's first word, which was, "Mama," a mix of languages reflecting her mixed heritage. About sleepless nights and tiny triumphs and the overwhelming love that had kept Amara going when she wanted to give up. Minjun listened to every word, and when she finished, there were tears on his cheeks. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "Amara, I'm so sorry you went through that alone." "I wasn't alone. I had Ji-young. I had the Korean friends I made at the community center. I had Mina. But you should have had me." Before Amara could respond, Minjun's phone buzzed. His expression darkened as he read the message. "What is it?" "My mother. She's called an emergency family meeting for tomorrow. She's demanding I bring you." "Why?" "To publicly shame you. To try to humiliate you in front of the entire family so you'll leave on your own." "I'm not afraid of your mother." Minjun looked at her with something like admiration. "I know. But Amara, my family, they're not kind people. They'll say terrible things. Let them. I've survived worse." The next evening, Amara dressed carefully in a conservative Korean dress Ji-young had helped her choose. Minjun had wanted to buy her designer clothes, but she'd refused. She wouldn't give his family the satisfaction of thinking she was after their money. The Kong family estate was even more intimidating than Amara remembered from her one disastrous visit 4 years ago. Sprawling traditional Hanok architecture mixed with modern additions, all surrounded by walls and security. "Stay close to me," Minjun murmured as they entered. The family was gathered in a formal sitting room. Mrs. Kong sat at the head, her face a mask of cold fury. Around her were various aunts, uncles, and cousins, all watching Amara with expressions ranging from curiosity to outright hostility. "So this is the woman who trapped you," Mrs. Kong said in Korean, not bothering with English. Minjun responded in Korean, his voice hard. "This is my wife, Amara. You will treat her with respect." "Your wife," one of the uncles laughed. "Minjun, have you lost your mind?" Marrying some foreigner with a bastard child? Watch your mouth, Min Jun's voice dropped to a dangerous level. That's my daughter you're speaking about. Mrs. Kong stood. You've humiliated this family. Married in secret to avoid our objections, bringing shame to the Kong name. I married in secret because you were planning to steal my child, Min Jun interrupted. Don't think I don't know about the custody papers you had prepared. The room went silent. Mrs. Kang's eyes narrowed. That child has no place in this family. Amara had had enough. In careful Korean she'd been practicing, she spoke. That child has a name. Mina. And whether you accept her or not, she is Min Jun's daughter. She exists. I exist. And we're not going anywhere. Several family members looked surprised that she spoke Korean. Mrs. Kang's face flushed with anger. How dare you speak to me? Mother, enough. Min Jun stood, pulling Amara up with him. I called this meeting to inform you all of my marriage, not to ask permission. Amara is my wife. Mina is my heir. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave the family business. You can't be serious, another uncle sputtered. The organization will never accept. The organization accepts what I tell them to accept. I am the head of this family, not any of you. My word is law. Min Jun's voice carried absolute authority. Now, you have a choice. Accept my wife and daughter, or find yourselves cut off from the family entirely. What's it going to be? The room erupted in angry Korean, voices overlapping. Amara caught phrases like, disgrace, and mixed blood, and foreign trash. Her hands clenched at her sides, but Min Jun squeezed her hand. We're leaving, he announced. When you're all ready to behave like civilized people, you know where to find us. As they walked out, Mrs. Kang's voice followed them. You'll regret this, Min Jun. That woman will destroy everything your father built. In the car, Amara let out a breath she didn't know she'd been holding. Well, that went about as badly as expected, she said. I'm sorry they're such dinosaurs. It's not your fault. Though I appreciate you standing up for us. Min Jun turned to her, his expression serious. Amara, I need you to understand something. What I said in there wasn't just for show. You and Mina are my priority now. Not the business, not the family name. You. Min Jun. I know you don't trust me yet. I know I have to earn that. But I meant what I said at the courthouse. I never stopped loving you. Love isn't enough. It wasn't enough 4 years ago. You're right. But maybe love plus action is. Let me show you I've changed. Let me prove that I'm the man you fell in love with. Amara wanted to argue, to keep her walls up, but the sincerity in his eyes made her pause. One day at a time, she finally said. That's all I can promise. That's enough. We're at the halfway point of this incredible story, and things are getting intense. If you're loving the drama, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. Comment below, Team Amara or Team Min Jun. And do you think his family will ever accept them? Let's discuss in the comments. Over the next few weeks, an uneasy routine developed. Min Jun worked during the day but came home for dinner every night, sitting with Mina and slowly building a relationship with his daughter. Amara watched, her heart torn between the past pain and the present reality of seeing father and daughter together. Mina, for her part, adored Min Jun. He read her stories, played princess with her, and never seemed to tire of her endless questions. Min Jun, why is the sky blue? Min Jun, can you teach me Korean words? Min Jun, will you take me to see the palace? He answered every question with patience, and Amara could see genuine love growing between them. One evening, after Mina was in bed, Amara found Min Jun in his study, looking at something on his desk. She approached and saw it was Mina's drawing from that first day, the one she'd been trying to show when Min Jun appeared. She drew this the morning you came back, Amara said softly. The drawing showed 3 stick figures, one with brown skin and black curls, one smaller one in the middle with the same, and one figure that was just an outline. She always draws herself with a mother and a father, even though I'd never told her about you. It's like she knew something was missing. Min Jun's hand trembled slightly as he touched the incomplete figure. She drew a space for me before she even knew I existed. Children are intuitive like that. Amara, can I ask you something? Min Jun turned to face her. Why didn't you go back to America? After everything my mother did, after I didn't answer your calls, why stay in Korea? Amara considered lying, but what was the point? Because this is where you were. And stupid as it sounds, part of me kept hoping you'd come back. That you'd realize your mother was lying and come find me. And I didn't. No. You didn't. So I built a life without you. I learned the language, made friends, started my business. Korea became home, not because of you, but despite you. I don't deserve you. No, Amara agreed. You don't. But Mina deserves a father, and you're trying. That counts for something. Min Jun stood, closing the distance between them. And what about us? Does the fact that I'm trying count for anything there? Amara's breath caught as he reached up, his fingers barely grazing her cheek. Min Jun. I know. One day at a time. But Amara, every day I wake up and see you in my home, see our daughter, and I remember what I lost. What I threw away because I was a coward who trusted the wrong person. You weren't a coward. You were grieving. That's not an excuse. Maybe not. But it's an explanation. They stood there, inches apart, the air between them electric. For a moment, Amara thought he might kiss her, and worse, she thought she might let him. But then her phone rang, shattering the moment. It was Ji Young, her voice panicked. Amara, turn on the news. Channel 7. Amara grabbed the remote and turned on the TV. Her blood went cold. There on the screen was a news anchor, and behind her was a photo of Amara, Mina, and Min Jun from a week ago at the park. What are they saying? She asked Min Jun, who'd gone rigid beside her. His face was white as he listened. They're claiming you're a gold digger who got pregnant on purpose to trap me. That you're under investigation for immigration fraud. That there are questions about Mina's paternity. What? That's insane. Who would? Amara stopped as realization dawned. Your mother. I'll kill her, Min Jun said flatly, already pulling out his phone. Min Jun, wait. But he was already dialing. The conversation that followed was in rapid Korean, but Amara could hear the fury in every word. When he hung up, his expression was murderous. She denies it, of course. Says this is a result of our hasty marriage, that people are naturally curious about my personal life. What do? We fight back. I'm calling a press conference for tomorrow. We're going to tell our story, all of it. And I'm going to make it very clear that anyone who comes after my family answers to me. Min Jun, I don't want to be in the spotlight like that. We don't have a choice anymore. My mother has forced our hand. But Amara, he took her hands, I promise you, I will not let them destroy you again. Not this time. The press conference was a circus. Reporters packed the room, cameras flashing as Min Jun took the podium, Amara standing beside him, her heart pounding. Thank you all for coming, Min Jun began in Korean, which was translated to English. I've called this conference to address the recent speculation about my family. 4 years ago, I met Amara Johnson. We fell in love. Due to circumstances and, I'll be honest, my own failures, we were separated. I was told she'd left Korea. She was told I didn't want to see her. Both of us were lied to by people we trusted. Reporters scribbled frantically. 3 weeks ago, I discovered that not only had Amara remained in Korea, but that we have a daughter together. A beautiful, intelligent 3-year-old girl named Mina. The reports claiming paternity questions are false. Mina is my daughter, and I have the DNA test to prove it to anyone who doubts. He pulled out a folder and held it up. As for the claims that Amara is a gold digger or committed immigration fraud, those are malicious lies. Amara came to Korea 4 years ago on a student visa, which she converted to a business visa when she opened her bakery. She built a successful business on her own, without any help from me or my family. In fact, the Kang family actively tried to drive her out of the country. Gasps rippled through the crowd. But most importantly, I want to make something very clear. Amara Kang is my wife. Mina is my daughter. They are under my protection. Anyone who threatens them, anyone who spreads lies about them, anyone who makes their lives difficult will answer directly to me. And trust me, you don't want that. The threat hung in the air, and every reporter in the room understood exactly what Kang Min-jun was capable of. Now, my wife would like to say a few words. Amara stepped up to the microphone, her legs shaking but her voice steady. I came to Korea as a graduate student 4 years ago. I fell in love with this country and with Min-jun. When I found out I was pregnant, I tried to tell him, but circumstances kept us apart. I won't lie and say it was easy. Being a single mother in a foreign country was the hardest thing I've ever done. But Korea gave me friends, opportunities, and a home. My daughter is Korean and American, and I'm raising her to be proud of both her heritages. To anyone who has a problem with that, I'm sorry, but we're not going anywhere. The reporters erupted with questions, but Min-jun guided Amara away from the podium, his security team creating a barrier. In the car, Amara finally let herself shake. Was that okay? Did I say the right things? You were perfect, Min-jun said, then pulled her into his arms. For the first time in 4 years, Amara let herself lean into his embrace, drawing strength from his solid presence. That night, the press conference was on every news channel. Public opinion was split. Some praised Min-jun for standing by his family. Others criticized him for marrying a foreigner and potentially weakening the family line. But the paternity questions stopped, and the immigration fraud claims disappeared. Mrs. Kang, however, was far from finished. 2 days later, Amara received a call from her landlord. The building housing her bakery had been sold, and the new owner was terminating all leases. Let me guess, she said to Min-jun, your mother bought the building. Min-jun's expression confirmed it. I'm sorry. She's more vindictive than I thought. It's fine. I'll find a new location. Or, Min-jun said carefully, I have a commercial property in Gangnam. Prime location, high foot traffic. It's currently empty. Min-jun, I can't afford rent in Gangnam. I'm not asking for rent. Consider it my investment in our family business. It's not a family business. It's my business. Then let me invest as a silent partner. Amara, please. Let me help you. Not because I think you need it, but because I want to be part of building something with you. Amara wanted to refuse on principle, but the truth was, she was tired. Tired of fighting alone, tired of proving herself, tired of carrying everything on her shoulders. Silent partner, she finally agreed. You don't get a say in how I run things. Wouldn't dream of it. The new bakery location was incredible. 3 times the size of her old shop, with modern equipment and a perfect corner spot. Amara threw herself into the setup, working long hours to get everything ready. Min-jun helped, showing up after his own work to paint walls and assemble furniture. Watching him labor beside her, his expensive suit jacket discarded and his sleeves rolled up, Amara felt her carefully constructed walls beginning to crumble. Why are you doing this? She asked one evening as they cleaned up. Because I love you, he said simply. And because I'm trying to show you that I'm here for the boring, mundane stuff, not just the grand gestures. The press conference was pretty grand. That was necessary. This, he gestured around the bakery, this is what I should have been doing 4 years ago. Building a life with you. Min-jun. Amara set down her paintbrush. I'm scared. I'm scared to trust you again. I'm scared you'll choose your family over us when push comes to shove. Then let me prove you wrong. Every day, for the rest of our lives if necessary. He crossed to her, cupping her face in his hands. Amara, I was half dead for 4 years. I went through the motions, ran the business, made the deals, but inside I was empty. The moment I saw you again, I remembered what it felt like to be alive. I'm not going to lose that again. I'm not going to lose you. This time, when he kissed her, she didn't pull away. She kissed him back, for years of pain and longing and love pouring into that moment. It was messy and desperate and perfect. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. This doesn't fix everything, Amara whispered. I know. But it's a start. Over the next few months, things seemed to settle. The bakery opened to huge success, with lines around the block. Mina started calling Minjun Appa, which made him tear up every time. And slowly, carefully, Amara and Minjun began to rebuild what they'd lost. But Mrs. Khan wasn't done yet. Amara was at the bakery when Ji-young burst in, her face pale. You need to see this, she said, shoving her phone at Amara. It was a news article from a gossip site. The headline made Amara's blood run cold, Kang Minjun's wife, criminal past revealed. The article claimed Amara had been arrested in the United States for assault, had a history of violence, and was potentially dangerous around children. This is insane, Amara said, her hands shaking. I've never been arrested for anything. I know that, but look at the comments. The comments were vicious. People calling for Mina to be taken away, claiming Amara was unfit, demanding Minjun divorce her immediately. Amara called Minjun, who answered on the first ring. I've seen it, he said, his voice tight with fury. I'm handling it. How? Minjun, this is my reputation. My ability to be a mother to Mina. It's completely fabricated. My lawyers are already drafting lawsuits against the publication. But the damage is done. People believe this stuff. Then we'll make them believe the truth. Amara, where are you? The bakery. Stay there. I'm coming to you. 20 minutes later, Minjun arrived with a team of lawyers and a cybersecurity expert. We've traced the IP address of the person who sent the story to the gossip site, the expert said. It came from Khan residence. Minjun's expression went deadly. My mother's house. Actually, the expert pulled up more data, it came from Mrs. Kang's personal computer. We have proof she fabricated the entire story. Can we use this? Amara asked. Absolutely, one of the lawyers said. We can sue for defamation, and we can file a police report for harassment and fabrication of evidence. Minjun stood. Set it all in motion. I don't care if she's my mother. She's gone too far. That evening, Minjun went to confront his mother alone, despite Amara's protests. This is between her and me, he said. It's time I end this. Amara waited at the penthouse, pacing anxiously, Mina long since asleep. When Minjun finally returned 3 hours later, he looked exhausted. What happened? I told her she had 2 choices, publicly apologize and accept you and Mina, or I remove her from the family entirely. No access to the business, no claim to the Kong name, nothing. Minjun, you can't disown your own mother. I can, and I will if necessary. Amara, she admitted everything. The lies 4 years ago, the custody papers, the building sale, the fake news story. She admitted it all and said she'd do it again because she believes you're ruining me. Maybe she's right. Minjun grabbed Amara's shoulders. Don't you dare. You saved me, Amara. You and Mina gave me a reason to be something more than just a crime boss. You made me want to be a better man. What did she say? About your ultimatum? She asked for time to think. I gave her 48 hours. Those 48 hours were the longest of Amara's life. She jumped at every phone call, analyzed every news alert, waited for the other shoe to drop. When the deadline arrived, Mrs. Kong requested a meeting with both of them. They met at a neutral location, a private room in an upscale hotel. Mrs. Kong looked smaller somehow, less formidable than before. I've considered your ultimatum, she said in English, looking directly at Amara for the first time. And I've realized that I have a choice, lose my son entirely or share him with you. Mother, Minjun started, but she held up a hand. I'm not finished. I don't like you, Amara Johnson. I don't approve of this marriage. I think you're wrong for my son, and I think your daughter dilutes our family line. Amara's hands clenched into fists, but Minjun squeezed her knee under the table. However, Mrs. Kong continued, I've watched my son over these past months. He's happier than I've seen him since his father died. He smiles. He laughs. He has purpose beyond the business. And I've realized that my attempts to drive you away have only pushed him further from me. She pulled out an envelope and slid it across the table. This is a public apology, which will be printed in every major newspaper tomorrow. In it, I admit to fabricating the criminal allegations and apologize for my actions. I also state my full support of your marriage. Amara and Minjun stared at the document in shock. Additionally, Mrs. Kong said, pulling out another envelope, this is a trust fund for Mina. 50 billion won, accessible when she turns 18. She is a Kong, regardless of my personal feelings, and she deserves her inheritance. Mother, I don't know what to say, Minjun said. Don't say anything. I'm not doing this for you, or for her, she looked at Amara. I'm doing this because I'm a practical woman. I can either adapt or lose everything. I choose to adapt. She stood. I expect to be informed about Mina's education, health, and milestones. She will learn Korean culture and language. And she will know her family history. Are we clear? Crystal, Amara said, finding her voice. Mrs. Kong nodded once and left. In the car, Amara turned to Minjun. Did that really just happen? I think my mother just surrendered. Should I be worried? It seems too easy. She's not doing this because she's had a change of heart. She's doing it because she's a strategist, and she knows when she's lost. But the result is the same, she'll leave us alone. And the family? Will follow her lead, as they always do. That night, Amara stood in Mina's room, watching her daughter sleep. Minjun came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. We did it, he murmured. We protected her. You did it, Amara corrected. You stood up to your mother. You chose us. I chose you 4 years too late, but I chose you. Amara turned in his arms. Minjun, I need to tell you something. I'm listening. That day you walked into my bakery, I hated you. I hated you so much I could barely breathe. But watching you with Mina, watching you fight for us, somewhere along the way, I started to fall in love with you all over again. Amara. I'm terrified, she continued. Because loving you the first time almost destroyed me. But I can't seem to help it. You're a good father. You're trying so hard to make amends. And when you look at me, I remember why I fell in love with you in the first place. Minjun kissed her, tender and sweet. I'm terrified too. Terrified I'll mess this up again, terrified I don't deserve this second chance. But I love you, Amara Kong. I love you and our daughter more than anything in this world. Even more than the family business. Especially more than the business. You are my family now. You and Mina. Everything else is just details. 6 months later, Amara stood in the garden of the Kong family estate, watching Mina play with her cousins. The family had slowly warmed to them, especially after Mrs. Kang's public about-face. It wasn't perfect, there were still whispers and judgments, but they were accepted. Minjun came up beside her, slipping his hand into hers. Happy? He asked. Getting there, she admitted. Ask me again in a year. I'll ask you every day for the rest of our lives. Minjun, there's something I need to tell you. He turned to face her fully, concern in his eyes. What is it? Amara took a deep breath. I'm pregnant. For a moment, he just stared at her. Then his face broke into the most beautiful smile she'd ever seen. Really? Really? About 8 weeks. I found out yesterday. Min-jun picked her up and spun her around, laughing. We're having another baby. Mina ran over. Appa, what's happening? Min-jun set Amara down and knelt to Mina's level. How would you like to be a big sister? Mina's eyes went wide. Really? I'm getting a baby? Really? Mina threw herself into both their arms, and the three of them stood there in a group hug, a family finally whole. Mrs. Kong approached, her expression unreadable. I heard the commotion. Is there news? We're pregnant, Min-jun announced, his arm around Amara. For the first time, Mrs. Kong smiled at Amara. It wasn't warm exactly, but it wasn't hostile either. Congratulations. I hope this one has an easier start than Mina did. Thank you, Amara said, genuinely surprised. As Mrs. Kong walked away, Ji-young appeared with champagne. I knew it, she crowed. I told you that you were glowing. The celebration that followed was warm and genuine. Family members, even the ones who'd been most hostile, offered congratulations. Toasts were made, plans were discussed, and for the first time, Amara felt like she truly belonged. That night, as she and Min-jun lay in bed, his hand on her still flat stomach, Amara reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Do you ever wonder what would have happened if you'd never walked into my bakery that day? She asked. Every day, Min-jun admitted. I think about all the time I wasted, all the moments I missed. But then I look at you and Mina, and I think maybe we ended up exactly where we were supposed to be. Even with all the pain. The pain made us stronger. Made me worthy of you. You're worthy of us, Amara said firmly. You proved that every day for the past year. I'll keep proving it every day for the rest of our lives. As Amara drifted off to sleep, she thought about the woman she'd been 4 years ago, young, heartbroken, alone. She'd survived what should have destroyed her. She'd built a life from nothing. She'd raised a daughter in a foreign country. And now, she had a family, a thriving business, and a future that looked bright. The journey hadn't been easy. There had been tears and trauma, betrayal and heartbreak. But standing on the other side of it all, Amara realized something important: she hadn't just survived. She'd thrived. And this time, when she built her dreams, she wouldn't be building them alone. We've reached the end of this incredible journey. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing Afro-Korean love stories. Drop a comment and tell us, did Min-jun redeem himself? Should Amara have forgiven him sooner, or did she handle it perfectly? And what do you think they should name their new baby? We love hearing from you. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our next upload. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next story. 5 years later, Amara stood on the balcony of their penthouse, watching the Seoul skyline light up as evening fell. Behind her, she could hear Min-jun reading bedtime stories to their 2 children, 8-year-old Mina and 4-year-old Jun. Her bakery had expanded to 3 locations across Seoul, each one more successful than the last. She'd published a cookbook combining American and Korean baking traditions. She'd become a voice in the international community in Korea, helping other foreign mothers navigate the system she'd once struggled with alone. But more than any professional success, she was happy. Truly, deeply happy. Min-jun emerged onto the balcony, wrapping his arms around her from behind. They're finally asleep, he said. Mina wanted one more story, but I held firm. You're getting better at that. I'm getting better at a lot of things. Like being a husband. Amara turned in his arms. You know what I was just thinking about? What? That day you walked into my bakery. How terrified I was. How much I hated you. Thanks for the reminder, he said wryly. But also how that was the day everything changed. The day we started finding our way back to each other. Best decision I ever made, hunting you down. You know what the best decision I ever made was? What? Choosing to forgive you. Not right away, and not easily, but eventually. Because holding on to that anger was only hurting me. Min-jun kissed her forehead. I don't take it for granted, you know. This life we've built. I know how close I came to losing it all. We both almost lost it. But we fought for it. Together. In the distance, fireworks suddenly lit up the sky. Some celebration in the city, painting the night in brilliant colors. Make a wish, Min-jun said. I don't need to, Amara replied, leaning into his embrace. I already have everything I wished for. And as they stood there, wrapped in each other's arms, the city of Seoul sparkling below them and their children sleeping peacefully inside, Amara realized that sometimes the best love stories aren't the easy ones. Sometimes they're the ones that break you and remake you, that test you and strengthen you, that nearly destroy you before they save you. Their story had started with a lie and a betrayal. It had been forged in pain and loneliness. But it had been reborn in truth and dedication, in the courage to try again and the strength to forgive. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was better. It was real. And it was theirs. And that's where we'll leave Amara, Min-jun, Mina, and little June, a family that was broken, abandoned, and nearly destroyed, but found their way back to each other against all odds. If this story touched your heart, if you felt every moment of Amara's pain and triumph, if you cheered when Min-jun finally stood up for his family, then please show some love by hitting that like button right now. Your support helps us bring more incredible Afro-Korean stories to life. And if you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Join our family of over 2,000 subscribers who love these emotional, dramatic, real-life inspired stories. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next upload. Trust me, the next story is going to blow your mind. Now, let's talk in the comments because I'm dying to know, do you think Amara forgave Min-jun too easily, or did he truly earn his second chance? Would you have given him another opportunity after 4 years? And here's the big question, do you believe Mrs. Kang's change of heart was genuine, or is she just biding her time? Drop your honest thoughts below. I read every single comment and I love hearing your perspectives. Also, tell us, what should we name their second baby? We said it's a boy named June, but what would you have named him? Get creative in the comments. If you know someone who loves K-dramas, romance, or stories about overcoming impossible odds, share this video with them right now. Send it to your group chats, post it on your socials, spread the love. Before you go, check out the video I'm about to recommend on your screen. It's another incredible Afro-Korean love story that you absolutely cannot miss. Click it now and keep the emotions rolling. Thank you so much for spending the last 50 minutes with us. Thank you for caring about Amara's journey, for rooting for this family, and for being part of our amazing community. Your support means everything. Remember, everyone deserves a second chance, but not everyone earns it. Min-jun earned his. What do you think? Until next time, keep believing in love, keep fighting for your happiness, and never let anyone make you feel like you're not enough. You are worthy. You are powerful. You are loved. See you in the next story. Peace and love, fam. Purple Heart.